think I'm stuck.
I hope there's not too much background noise. Should I close the windows? Can you hear music in the background from me?
Yeah, no, you're perfect.
Is it all right?
Yeah.
Okay, because I can close the windows.
And supporters
You're perfect.
of the VenusProject.com resource-based economy, and is not an official spokesperson, representative, or act in any official capacity, and serves only to encourage, support, and motivate other TVP activists.
When does it start?
It's running. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Activism Insights, show dedicated to the VenusProject.com resource-based economy activists who are out in the field. Very, very happy and feel fortunate to be able to have a wonderful guest on that so many of us know. Would like to welcome Sue Everatt, who is the TVP Support Administrator. She's a POC for Spain. She has done so much. She's also a coordinator for the Spanish translation team with the international linguistic team for the VenusProject.com. She's conducted several radio shows as well as a presentation on TED Talks, and we just want to give her a great big welcome. And thank you, Sue, for being here this afternoon.
Thank you, Luke, for the opportunity. It's great to be chatting with you like this. Long time no see in person.
Yes, it's been a little while, and you know, so many of us are fortunate to get to see each other, if not through our correspondence, through Facebook, through emails, many of the different type of, how would you say, Google Hangouts. They have many, many meetings that they work together on and continually upgrade, and also to plan and to organize and create some of the new training, which we all know is so important. So I think it's wonderful we're able to communicate in this way, and I'm fortunate as well as you are. So, you know, I always go through a lot of the preliminary questions in the beginning. And the first one is, how did you learn of the VenusProject.com resource-based economy in Jacque and Roxanne?
Okay, well, I guess like most people, or most people back in that time, I saw Zeitgeist Addendum, and I found the ideas absolutely fascinating. And I was with the Zeitgeist movement for a while. I was with the linguistic team back in those days as well. I was one of the earliest members of the linguistic team. Then I was sorry about the dogs. I was a moderator on the website for the Zeitgeist movement in Spain. And finally, I came to realize that if I was going to learn about a resource-based economy, the best place to go for the information was from the original creators. And so I became exclusively TVP, if you want to put it that way. And that's about 8 years ago now. And haven't looked back.
Wow, far out.
I think it's the most worthwhile thing I can do with my spare time. You know, I can't imagine doing anything else, to be honest. Try and make a better future for everybody.
Yeah, totally with you. And the other question is, why? Why do you spend so much time? Why is so much of your life dedicated towards a lot of hard work and, as we all know, a lot of sacrifice and, you know, some of the alienation that we experience from other people who don't yet understand? Why do you continue, and why do you support the VenusProject.com resource-based economy?
There's millions of wonderful organizations out there doing some great work, you know, feeding the homeless, shelter children in Africa, build a well in a little village in India. There's millions of wonderful organizations out there, but they all deal with one particular problem, and they're very necessary, don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking them at all. I admire them and their dedication to their projects. But the Venus Project incorporates all of that. So, to me, it's the complete answer. You know, I could join 20 different organizations and still not have the complete picture, the big picture that the Venus Project offers. I haven't seen anything else this complete, this holistic anywhere else. So, you know, for me, that's why it is. I want to be able to look at my grandchildren, if I ever have any, in the eye and say, I did what I could to leave you a better planet, you know. And if I don't have grandchildren, well, whoever comes after, you know.
Right, and aren't most of all of the children in the world are grandchildren, you know, and brothers and sisters, moms and dads, uncles and aunts, all related. We've learned that now. And so, well, and you've really been active, like you said, from the beginning. You know, I started with the Zeitgeist movement as well, and so you have just done a ton of work, and you did this wonderful presentation on TED Talk. We're going to go ahead and provide a lot of links to the many different shows that you've done. Some of the latest was the CCN network.
Yeah, we're preparing for a new season for that as well. Hopefully at the end of this month we'll be doing the first broadcast. By the way, the talk that I did for TED was TEDx, not TED. TED are the ones in California. TEDx are all like the franchising all around the world.
Around the world.
But they are linked to TED, you know, they are official. But they're TEDx because they're not in the California. They're not done in the California. The original ones are TED in California.
Is it?
But it was a wonderful experience, yeah. And I have done quite a few talks now. I've got another one coming up around November time. I'll be going to the mainland of Spain. The date's got to be fixed still. And I'll be talking to a group of people, an organisation who are ecologically minded. And one of the main movers and shakers there has heard about the Venus Project, is interested. So he contacted me to see if I could go along and do a talk. And I was always tied to show business back in the day. So for me to do lectures and conferences and so on, it's kind of like a progression for that, if you will, you know, being on stage.
Wow, well, it sounds like great exposure.
It's a wonderful experience. I enjoy doing it. But there's so much stuff being done behind the scenes that people don't know about. You know, the people that get up front and show the face, we're relatively few to the ones that are... If you can imagine a theatre, and you've got the actors on stage with all the audience watching, but the actors alone cannot produce the show. They've got hundreds of people working backstage, moving the curtains, the lights, the sound, the costumes, the props, the music. You know, you can't do it. And we've got loads of people behind the scenes doing things, which, because we're busy doing things, we're not necessarily out there shouting, hey, look what I'm doing. So people are saying, you know, well, what's happening, what's happening? We need more people, though. We do need more people helping us out. You know, people who can be reliable as well, because we have, if you take on a responsibility, then you have to follow it through, you know. While we do understand that life does take people away sometimes from helping, you know, then that's inevitable. But sometimes people disappear and you're not quite sure why, you know. So what we need is stickability.
Yeah.
People who then help us build this.
Yes, I agree.
And that kind of structure.
I absolutely agree, and that's kind of like a transition to the next part of this interview, and that is how important it is to continue training. And we have several training programs that are good, intense, and in-depth. That's what I'd like to talk a little bit about, is the importance of taking the training and the type of training that's available. Now, you're a POC there in Spain. Tell us a little bit about the points of contact training, some of the duties, what's involved to take it, and how easy it is for any member. I always felt like each one of us, in a sense of the word, is a point of contact, because everywhere we go, everyone that we interact with, I think that for a lot of members, our own lives kind of should exemplify that. The way that we treat people, the way that we interact with them, the positive effects that we have interacting with each other and our earth. Tell us a little bit more about the POC training, what's involved, and how you can begin.
Okay, well, the points of contact training, we call it the orientation process, and we're just on the point of starting. I think it's the 5th edition that we've done now. Each time we change, we alter, we evolve, we try to make it better. We change the material sometimes, some we keep the same. And this time it's going to be 20 weeks long. The candidates this time, they've had to fill out a series of quizzes on material that we've given them to watch. There was a total of almost 13 hours of videos and text to read and so on. on different topics, some directly TVP, some like the scientific method or so on. And when they'd finished those 8 quizzes, each one on a different topic, if they got a certain percentage correct, then they went through to an interview online with us to break the ice a little bit, get to know each other and so on, find out why they want to be a POC and so on. And if they passed that, then they were added to a Skype group where we have all the candidates together. And we are now on the point of starting the study groups. We split all the candidates into groups who will meet once a week on the same day at the same time every week. And we'll be studying different things. Some of it will be directly Venus Project material. Other things will be external material. There'll be a lot of the web to look at and so on. And we'll also be having how to prepare an event workshop. So that by the time they've completed the orientation process, they've actually had experience creating an event, holding a screening, for example, of one of the documentaries. And at the end of these 20, we're also going to give them a lot of organizational information too. For example, the tools that we use. We use a lot of Google Documents, we use Google Hangouts, we use Skype, we use Facebook. And not everybody knows how to use these things and the possibilities that there are. So we're going to have organizational sessions too, how to answer emails and so on. And at the end of the 20 weeks, they will become POCs, unless they've done really badly, obviously, which I doubt. We've got a great group coming in with lots of energy. I know we shouldn't have expectations, but I really do feel that we've got a good group here. So hopefully in about 20 weeks, we're going to have a zoom of new points of contact. The responsibilities, as I mentioned before, it is a responsibility. It's something that requires time, whether you're just starting and it's only you in your state or your country, or whether you've already got people who are collaborating with you. It takes time. You have to understand that you're going to have to give time to this. You can't just take the title and then, oh, I'm POC and that's it, disappear. No, you've got to do stuff. You've got to get shit done, you know? You've got to manage the Facebook, answer the emails. In Spain, for example, we organise once a week, we have online discussion sessions using TeamSpeak, which is another tool that we use, where we will watch a documentary and then discuss it afterwards, relate it to the resource-based economy and the differences, the similarities, if there are any, and build a team. The main focus of the point of contact is to build a team of people who want to be active, who want to organise events, go out there, take part in a fair, what do we call it, one of these days, you know, an echo day or something, with a kiosk, a booth or whatever, a table with material on and so on, and get the word out there. That a POC, a point of contact, is a coordinating role, basically. And obviously, if you're going to take it on, then you have to be willing to move out there. You can't just sit behind your screen all day, you know, you've got to do stuff as well. It's a demanding job sometimes. But at the same time, it's hugely satisfying. You know, we meet some wonderful people, and on the global level, with the organisation that we're doing this with, there's 4 of us admins. There's Sasha Luznar, Deborah Sosa, and Dean Sigurdsson and myself, and we've put a lot of effort into this new orientation process to give the tools that the points of contact need, so that at least they've got a basic. Now, there's something that's very important to explain here. When they finish this course of 20 weeks, they will not be experts on the Venus Project, because we don't have enough time in 20 weeks to teach them everything there is to know about the Venus Project or the resource-based economy. To do that, once they become a POC, they're encouraged to carry on with their education and take part in the socio-cyberneering course. This is a course which is very complete. It goes through all the available material that there is from the Venus Project. It can take up to 2 years. You do it at your own speed, but you finish, the more you put into it, the faster you go, the sooner you'll finish, obviously, but you can go at your own speed. And that is the best education that there is at the moment. The socio-cyberneering education project is the maximum. Ours is just to prepare people to be a point of contact, but then encourage them to keep on learning afterwards, because this is so much. You know, one of the things that I like about the Venus Project is that the more you learn, the more you realise you've still got to learn. You know, it's like, you get an epiphany, suddenly you think, I don't know anything. You know, you got to keep working at it. So
I imagine attaining just the POC is invigorating and enthusiastic to continue your training because you begin to have a foundation.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. And sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, and they come along and they ask you questions, and you need to know your answers, you know, and if not, you can't be afraid to say, okay, well, I'm going to ask and find out that one. I don't know that one. I'll go and ask somebody else about that one, you know,
Sure.
Which does happen. You always get one in the
Yes.
group that's got the questions that you can't answer.
That's right. And so now, just to review, it's a 20-week course.
Yeah.
And which has all kinds of different interaction as you begin to go through that course. You interact with others. You begin to have meetings digitally through different tools, TeamSpeak, also Google Hangouts, as well as
Yeah.
Skype. And so and then from that provides a foundation enabling you to take the socio-cyberneering. And we're going to get into that on our next interview a little more in depth about the socio-cyberneering educational course. Is there a waiting list, or is there a type of schedule in order to become a POC?
Yes, we do have a waiting list now because we've been through the whole process of the quizzes and the interviews, and it's taken various weeks to do that. And so we're not taking anybody else on now for this particular one. So anybody that's coming along now that's interested in being a POC will go on a waiting list. And they have to understand that it could be various months before we're ready to start another one. Because we're going to go through this one, finish this, get these guys set up and running as POCs, help them along a while, and then we can start looking at how to improve for the next time, because we always have an autopsy. I call them autopsies.
Great.
We have an autopsy on the orientation process, so that we can see what went well, what didn't go well. We get feedback from the candidates as well. You know, what did you think? Did you like it? Did you enjoy it? Was it informative? Blah, 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 and so on. And we try and make it better.
Excellent. Using the scientific method, it constantly emerges and honed to a razor's edge. So, you know, for those that are waiting who want to take the POC course, would you recommend any reading, like The Best That Money Can't Buy, to start, you know, to kind of segue into?
Absolutely. To absorb as much as they can. If they can treat themselves to the lecture set from the website, that is fantastic. The book is amazing. So yes, look at the web. A lot of people don't pay attention to the web as much as they could. And it's really good now, the new web that we've got, well, relatively new web that we've got. There's loads of information on there.
Yes.
They, you know, frequently asked questions, or the new sections that they've got and so on. It's really interesting. So people need to look at the web. There's the YouTube channel with hundreds of hours of videos and lectures.
Yes.
People need to look at that and to absorb as much as they can, because the more they know when they come in, the better it will help them with the orientation process. And if they don't want to be a POC at the end, they're then still really prepared to participate in any of the other teams. Maybe halfway through they decide, okay, well actually I think I'd rather be in the social media team.
Right.
Well, they've had all that education, all that information already through the POC orientation process to help them, you know. So
yes,
and in fact, there will be on the website, through the website, there will be a very basic orientation process for people who want to join a team, whether it's social media or graphics or whatever. There will be a basic orientation, but that will just be online. It won't be any interaction in Hangouts or anything. We do study groups for the orientation process for the POCs. We do study groups through Hangouts where we see each other, and it's like you and I now, you know, but we've got more people. So we get to know each other. It's a different relationship, you know. The basic orientation that will be to join the teams will be through quizzes. You'll have to watch material, then answer quizzes on them, basically. So that shouldn't be too long before it's up. But that again is very basic. So yeah.
Yes, well, it's fantastic. And, you know, I, as so many others, really appreciate the time that you and the other people involved have been working to organize and dedicated efforts to make this happen. And so very, very thankful.
Listen, all you do, you always on the go, man. So, you know, come on.
I think all of us, in the way that we can.
Kudos to you.
Well, I mean, when you're fortunate, I don't have a lot of demands that everyone else has, with family and car insurance, health insurance, life insurance. The car needs brakes, the kids need dental work. So anyone, I think everyone is doing everything that they can in the way that they can, in the range of thought that they have. And
Yeah,
so all of
exactly.
us are thankful for what you do and for what the activists do. So often, it's easy to forget about how the difficulties that so many people out in the field, out in the real world, face. And we wish to acknowledge and help provide tools for them. I'm just releasing a new website. You get these free little websites with Wix, which I just created one for Activism Insights. It has tools now on it. The very first tool we're going to offer is, I hear the music sounds like we're coming to a close. I backed it up, so it's going to be a little bit longer than 20 minutes. The first tool that we're going to offer is the question and answers. Now, Dean Signason, who's a POC up in Canada, he had created a wonderful PDF document of the question and answers. So we have that available. You can download it. You won't have to go online. You can refer to it. It's straight from the website. He's going to update it. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're breaking up.
Okay, sorry
Carry
about
on.
that. Okay, so we have a new website. We're going to provide links. We're going to provide links for all of Sue's work that she has done, and we encourage everyone to become involved in the POC training. It's a fantastic opportunity. It's a fantastic training program that enables you to deliver that message more effectively, and to become and have a wider range of understanding of what a resource-based economy is, the type of values that humankind will have, as opposed to the values that we currently possess. So Sue, I'd just like to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day there in Spain for allowing us to have this interview with you. And thank you for everything. There is one other thing I wish to bring up in this, and that is that Roxanne had made me aware of. I talked about during Jacque's passing that we had Sasso and Jennifer there helping them through that. And also, which I didn't know, was Stan Azine and also Joe Holt. Now, Joe Holt is the one responsible for that, the YouTube channel, which, as you said, has tons of information and free information and videos. So Joel and Stan were there, and I wish to acknowledge them as well, and how appreciative we are to help them through that very difficult time that all of us experience. So I wanted to bring that up on our closing. And so I'd like the opportunity to have another interview with you, and you can bring us more up to date on the orientation, the POC, and we'll get a little bit more deeper into the socio-cyberneering educational course, a very in-depth up to 2-year course. So
You should talk to Theophilus about that. He's the guy who's organizing that. See if he will do an interview with you.
Theo?
Theo, yeah.
Yeah, I got to meet him when we were up at the research center. It was really far out. Yeah, great guy, man.
Yeah.
Totally serious, totally dedicated.
He's the person to tell you about the socio-cyberneering.
Out of sight. Okay,
I mean, I'm
so
doing it. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Sorry?
All right, we will do that. If he's a very busy, he's a pilot, a tremendous amount of responsibility, and a family man, bringing his children up with different values than even our forefathers had. So let's look forward to that. I sure thank you, Sue.
Oh, you're welcome, darling. Thank you for the opportunity.
Oh,
see you again soon.
All right, and thank you. And tune in again, everybody. Be sure to check links to her work. Make sure that you see them, because they're very uplifting, very informative, and as well as some of the tools now that we have available for those activists out in the field. Thanks, everybody. Bye. See if I can get the little music closed together. We'll let the music close, and we'll do the outtake explaining where they can go for more information at the venusproject.com website.
Okay. So we're not live anymore, are we?
Yeah, you're still live. I'm going to wait till it closes.
For more information on
Good job I didn't start picking my nose then.
resource-based economy,
Here we go.
log on to the venusproject.com website or check out the venusproject.com YouTube channels and Facebook pages.
Out of sight. That's our close. We'll see you again. Thanks, Sue.
Bye.
Bye,
Thank you.
everybody.